Hi everyone, it's James here from TSR Jivey Talks Tech, back with another video, and this time drums. Yes, I know. I said that this channel wouldn't be all about drums, but they are such a massive part of many of our mixes, it's worth getting them right. And this was one of those tricks that I'd forgotten about, and I've certainly demoed it in previous online lives, if you know what I mean. But it's such a neat trick, and such a really sweet way to do a thing, that I thought I'll show you this kind of how to bring drums back from the dead effectively. Now, I used this on a client mix the other day and the drums didn't sound great, and afterwards we were like, yes, that's much better. Of course, I can't show you that version because it's a client mix and I can't use their track, but this is something I'm working on. The drums sound okay, but I do want to kind of enhance and tweak them a little bit. And what we're going to do is I'm going to use the amazing Toon Tracks Superior Drummer 3 and its tracker feature to enhance the snare drum sound on this track. And I'm going to show you more than I would have done in previous versions of this video because I want to show you the entire story, not just the bit the software company want you to see, if you know what I mean. Not that I mean in that any kind of clandestine way, but this is the way I use the software in real life. So here's the track. I'll play you the drums on their own. If I go back to the beginning, there's another sort of slow section as well. Here's the snare top on its own. And you think that sounds okay. Now let's take off the secret sauce. Now, I love what CLA Drums is doing there, but I really want to get a better snare sound to work with in the first place. And we're going to enhance and augment the existing snare sound with a sample from Toon Tracks Superior 3. So what we do is let's create ourselves a new stereo audio track. We'll put it in there. Let's call it Sup 3 because we can. And let's bring it in. Toon Tracks Superior 3. Here's our GUI. Nah. I always end up going for one of these two. Either the Tama Bell Brass or this Noble and Cooley. I think in this case the Tama is the way to go. And we're going to use the amazing tracker feature to take care of all the drum triggering. In the past, I've used different software to extract MIDI data from the audio file, then put that in and reline it all up, and it never went quite to plan. It was a mess. Tracker makes triggering drums an absolute doddle. But it does require a little bit of pre-work on our case. So here's our snare drum track. And it's actually two files. So what I'm going to do is create a single file, consolidate that Pro Tools audio file. Then I'm going to call it snare top for Sup. It's now one continuous file from the beginning of the session. And it means I'll be able to find it a lot easier when I'm actually looking through the audio files list. So let's open up Superior. Let's open up our audio files. There it is. Drag that in. And it does its magic. Now, I'm not going to get too far into the nitty-gritty, but we might need to listen through and make sure there's no double hits or re-triggers or anything like that. Let's wind the mix all the way over to just the sample. Right, there's a little extra trigger there. Let's push the regions up to there's that one. And of course, we'd want to go through and listen to the track really carefully to make sure there's no extra hits, no kind of miss hits or ghost notes or anything like that, or anything that hasn't triggered that should have been. In this case, I'm not too worried because, quite frankly, I'll go through it afterwards. For this demo, you can see you can just click on a hit, delete it, leave it in if you want. It's really, really simple. Now we've got our augmented snare. Let's listen to how the two line up. Now it's really, really close, but there is some flamming. So what I now need to do is convert this to audio. Now I can do that a number of ways, but quite frankly, often the easiest way is to just feed it into an audio track, which is what I'm going to do in this case. It's not the authorized way, if you like, but I'm going to come out of a bus. Let's come out of bus 1 and 2. Let's go bus 1 and 2 in there. And I'm just going to run the track through in real time. Now, there's a reason for doing this rather than using any of the automated systems, which are absolutely fine. You can't commit the track because there's no audio data in there. So all I'm going to do is just call this Soup 3 snare. And I'm going to run it through in real time. This may take some time. Okay, so we now have our audio file and our MIDI version, if you like, our MIDI snare. And we can play our sampled snare back with our real snare again. And I can just hear the flamming. It's really annoying me. So all I have to do now, give myself some space to work, and I'm going to zoom in and work out where the flamming is coming from and move the audio file to line up perfectly. So that first one doesn't seem too bad, but there's definitely some issues later on. Yeah, we're just coming in what feels like about that much too early. Zoom right into some of these, see how far out we are. Fairly happy now with that. And what we can do is go on a stage further, if we want to get really into it, and line these up using something like Auto Align by Soundradix. Now this is the first version of Auto Align rather than the new one. But in some ways I really like this because it tells me how many samples, or feet and inches if you like, I'm out by, and I can just line these up manually later on if I want to take the plugin off. So let's just play that back, line these up. Now we're absolutely spot on. We were 22 samples out, which turns out to be 15 centimeters of effectively mic distance error. And let's put them all back together. So there you go, another trick for mixing drums and getting your drum sound the best it can possibly be, using a combination of routing within Pro Tools, Superior Drummer 3, Auto Align from Soundradix, but primarily this is about those amazing samples from the Superior Drummer 3 library, the core library. Now I know Toon Track are bringing out more libraries with producers and engineers, it feels like weekly at the moment. There's some amazing stuff coming out and some amazing new libraries. The Hugh Padgham library sounds incredible from my what I've heard online. Toon Track do not know I'm making this video. It is not an endorsed video or sponsored or anything like that. I made it because it was something that helped me out the other day on a mix, and I thought it might just help you out or save your life in a future mix too. So if you enjoyed that, please do like, subscribe, hit the bell, all that normal stuff we ask you to do. But for now, my name's James from TSR Jivey Talks Tech, and I'll see you again very soon.